Are you winning, son? Wizards of the Coast doesn't seem to think so. But before we get into that, guys, thank you. The channel has really blown up. We're at 4,155 subs. That is an amazing outpouring of support from you guys. Thank you so very, very much. So if you're just cruising by, if the algorithm sends you this way and you haven't already, please click that like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. It really, 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 really does help us out. And of course, today's video is brought to you by our friends over at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde Games makes the kind of adventure modules that they'd like to play, whether it's for 5th edition, Castles and Crusades, OSR, whatever the rule set, old school is in play at the table. And you can pick up their adventure modules from DriveThruRPG or directly from their website at hellebardegames.com. So let's get into it today. The CEO of Hasbro is now saying that they misfired on the OGL, but they have since course corrected, and that revenues were not significantly impacted by cancellations of D&D Beyond. And this, of course, comes to us from Polygon. Let's take a look at this article, and I'll link to that below. This is Charlie Hall reporting, and he says, Hasbro CEO Chris Cox told investors, and that's important, remember that, told investors that the organized protest against changes to the Dungeons & Dragons OGL, specifically the mass cancellation of D&D Beyond accounts, will have little to no impact on Wizards of the Coast bottom line in 2023. The comments were made during a previously scheduled call with investors on Thursday. Those are very key, important points, guys, and I'm gonna mention those in a second. We misfired on updating our open game license, Cox said. We have since course corrected and are delivering a strong outcome for the community and game. When a leaked version of a draft licensing agreement known as the OGL appeared online, which, by the way, this is just my 2 cents. That was no draft. That was the final. People had to sign it just like a contract. You don't do that with just drafts. Fans organized under the hashtag OpenDND, many urged customers of D&D Beyond, the digital platform for Dungeons & Dragons, to cancel their subscriptions. The logic was that by hurting Hasbro financially, reducing revenues on a strategic digital platform expected to be the foundation of the next iteration of the seminal role-playing game, that fans would gain leverage against the proposed changes to the OGL. The controversy did make international headlines, and that pressure in part appears to have resulted in a significant portion of D&D's lore and its rule set entering the public domain. But, according to Cox, it does not appear to have substantially impacted the earnings for the D&D brand in 2023. We've had some subscription cancellations, Cox said, but they were comparatively minor in the totality of both the D&D profit and loss and the Wizards profit and loss. Cox went on to add that, in contacting those users who did cancel their subscriptions, did you get contacted by Wizards of the Coast? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. The company found that a lot of them are very open to restarting their subscriptions. Hasbro acquired D&D Beyond in April of 2022, and Cox said Thursday that his organization has since made good on its investment with around 20% user growth in 2022 and a commensurate growth in revenue. It's a great platform, Cox said. It's a really good value, and it's something that has been a good growth factor to us. These statements were made during Hasbro's quarterly earnings call and on the heels of a spectacularly bad news cycle for the Rhode Island game and toy giant. Again, link that to the things I said about the first paragraph. I'm going to address that. In November, analysts at Bank of America accused the company of destroying the long-term value of Magic the Gathering, killing its golden goose by overprinting cards, including a set of 60 random reprinted cards that retailed for $999. The white paper resulted in a rare double downgrade of the company's stock. Polygon's a little behind the 8 ball. Bank of America ain't happier. While the OGL situation has settled down somewhat, consumer sentiment appears to be anecdotally in flux. Much of the D&D brand's future will depend on the success of an upcoming movie starring Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. Also looming large on the calendar is the release of the Larian Studios' Baldur's Gate 3 computer role-playing game, which Cox said should boost Hasbro revenues in the fall. Meanwhile, employee discontent at Wizards is simmering, and small competitors are having a field day pitching themselves as more ethical alternatives to D&D. And we're going to look at that employee discontent and some other stuff that's going on in a couple of later videos this afternoon. But guys, there's a couple of very snarky comments because, believe it or not, there are Wizards fanboys who will do anything and everything for this company, who are completely black-pilled down in the comments talking about, I told you the internet outrage machine wouldn't do anything. Guys, this was a call to investors on the heels of an absolutely acidic financial report, a completely toxic financial report. Of course, they're telling investors that no, guys, they didn't do anything. No, it wasn't them, and they're going to come back anyway. All right. Kyle Brink's out there on an apology tour. He's firing white men from the hobby. He's saying all sorts of crazy things. Chris Cox has got to get up in front of investors and say, everything's cool. Everything's fine. No. They didn't have any impact at all. Trust us, bro. Meanwhile, you've got the entire stock market saying, you guys suck. So don't let these guys blackpill you, and don't let them gaslight you. We did have an impact, okay? It was there. It was significant. If it wasn't, why did they retreat? They're getting hit in the pocketbook, guys. All right. Don't believe the hype is what I'm saying. You stay vigilant. Stick with these guys. Don't let them gaslight you into believing that you didn't do anything. This is a machine that is kicked into overdrive to split and divide the community again. Because remember, we were all united. But they want to split and divide the community again. Get the outrage machine going on this side, and you get the outrage machine going on this side, and then you have Cox saying, nah, they didn't do anything. It's all part of a measured attack to shut us up and shut us down, because they know that we actually did have an impact. And Cox is over here trying to save his ass in front of the investors. That's what this is. That's what's going on. But you tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the bell icon. It really, really helps us out. So think about that. We're going to drop a couple more spicy videos today before we get to tonight's live stream, where we're going to play some first edition Gamma World. Until then, guys, have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace to you all.